The history of Appalachian folk medicine greatly centers around the location of the Appalachian Mountains. Not only did the mountains provide perfect natural resources to be medically sustainable, but the location of Appalachia made most other medical options scarce. Even when the rest of America had access to professional doctors, Appalachia was often without. From the time of early settlers well into the 19th century, most Appalachians were miles away from the nearest doctor or hospital. For example, in the 1800s in Harlan County, all 5,371 residents were served by only one doctor. This single physician was not only a trained doctor, but he was also a farmer who was well skilled in traditional Appalachian medicinal practices. These few doctors would have to travel very far to reach their patients because Appalachians were so spread out across the region. Additionally, most Appalachians were so poor they could provide little financial incentives to lure doctors into their areas. This poverty was only maximized by the beginnings of the Civil War, which greatly diminished resources even further. Because of this, few Appalachians chose to go to doctors unless it was deemed absolutely necessary, choosing instead to put their health into the hands of yarb doctors, witch doctors, midwives, religious leaders, as well as family tradition. The folk remedies practiced by these groups were mixtures of herbal knowledge, mysticism, religion, Native American tradition, and old European remedies brought over from early settlers hailing from Scotland, Ireland, England, and occasionally Germany. Some of folk medicine was superstitious or religious in nature. To this day, 68% of Appalachians still believe that the devil himself could cause illness. But while some folk medicine relied on the power of God to cure illness, other folk medicine relied on the power of nature. This medicine would involve using herbs, roots, and other natural products to create medicines that could be taken to cure different illnesses. By utilizing the bountiful resources of the Appalachian Mountains, early Appalachians were able to remedy various illnesses in a way that also allowed them to be mostly self-sustainable. These herbal remedies were orally passed down through generations and included various forms of salves, tinctures, syrups, and teas. Today, I will be revealing the preparation methods behind each main forms of medicine. First, identify the herbs needed and gather them from the surrounding area. Then, take your plants and lay them out to dry. When making salves, look for plants with anti-inflammatory properties, such as goldenrod, plantain, or jewelweed. Place your herb in a jar and fill with a type of carrier oil and let it sit in the sunlight for many weeks. After this time, you'll be able to make a salve. You'll need cheesecloth and some beeswax in addition to your oil. Strain your herb oil mixture through a cheesecloth and into a bowl. Don't forget to squeeze out every last drop. Discard your spent herbs and heat the oil until it is warm. Next, add some beeswax. Mix until it is dissolved completely. Finally, pour your mixture into a container and allow it to cool. Add any more beeswax as needed. Now you have your very own Appalachian medicinal salve. To make black cherry cough syrup, gather black cherry twigs and remove the inner bark with a knife. For safekeeping, allow the inner bark to dry so that it can be stored for later. Bring some water to a boil and then pour the water over the black cherry bark. Cover and infuse the mixture overnight. After the infusion is complete, bring the mixture to a boil again and simmer it for 20 minutes. Next, strain out the excess herbs and boil the liquid until it is reduced to half its volume. Finally, add honey as needed until the mixture becomes syrupy. Then, refrigerate to store. Historically, early Appalachians have used alcoholic tinctures to extract medicinal properties from plants and all that is needed for tinctures is a plant of your choosing, as well as alcohol that is 80 proof or higher. First, place your plant in a sealable container. Next, fill the container with alcohol. Next, seal the container up and let the mixture sit for more than 2 weeks. After waiting 2 weeks or more, drain the tincture through a muslin cloth. Then, squeeze the remaining liquid from the plant matter and discard the plant matter after. Finally, take the remaining liquid and store it in small containers. You may take the liquid as needed and store it in a cool, dark location. Now, just like the early Appalachians, you too have the skills to turn plants into salves, syrups, and tinctures. Don't forget, you can even use your dried herbs to make tea for later.